Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're looking at calculating the number of working days between two dates. Now, Microsoft always had a NETWORKDAYS function, which was really useful, but they did have a problem, and this is its problem. The working days excluded weekends. So it was assuming that businesses worked Monday to Friday, and that was where you wanted to calculate your working days. These days, that cannot be assumed, and some businesses work 7 days a week. Others will work, for example, where Monday and Tuesday are the non-working days, or they might even be non-consecutive days, such as Wednesday and Sunday. So Excel gave us a new function called NETWORKDAYS.INTL, and let's have a look and see how it might work. So you're going to start by typing NETWORKDAYS, and it'll pick up the NETWORKDAYS.INTL function, so I'll double-click that. It's expecting to get a start date, an end date, something that is quoted to be a weekend, and holidays. It's a little bit difficult to build your function this way, so let's go and have a look at a finished example. I have one here. This is an example of the function at work. What it assumes is that the start date is in cell E5, the end date is in cell E6, there's a string for non-working days in cell E8, and the holidays are here. Now, there are a few problems with working with a function like this. One of them is that the string for non-working days is a little bit confusing. While Excel will give you a value that you can put in this function here for consecutive non-working days, such as Monday and Tuesday or Friday and Saturday, there is no provision for non-consecutive. So there's no easy way of calculating for example, Wednesday and Sunday. Also, the holidays here are buried inside the formula, which makes it really hard to see and to check that the holidays are actually correct, that everything is in there that should be in there, for example. So I've built a worksheet for you, and I've got a link to it in the description below so you can download it. And here's how this particular worksheet works. It's got a start date and an end date. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's got a formula in here which is not too different from the one we just saw. It's referencing the start date and the end date, but here is a non-workday string, which I'm going to explain in just a minute, and the holidays are in this name range down here. Now, this has a couple of advantages. One is that the holidays can easily be added to, so you can, instead of having to put the holidays in the formula like this, you can just add them to this little mini table. This is a named range, and it's been set up as a table, and so it will expand. You can just add holidays to this named range, and they'll be taken into account in the function. Nice and easy. Also, it's very easy to confirm that you've got all the holidays that you need to have and that they're correct. So I like the visual aspect of this. Now, in terms of the non-working days string, this function will take a number to indicate what the non-working days are. Or if you've got an unusual setup, then it will take what's called a string, and the string is 7 digits long. And the first character here, at the moment it's a 0, is representing Monday, and the second one represents Tuesday and then Wednesday, etc., all the way through the week. And what you do is you put a 0 if you are working on that day, but you put a 1 in if you're not working. And so you can build up a 7-digit string that you can then feed into this Workdays function, and it will make the calculation for you. So what I've done is I've added these little checkboxes in here. Now you can get to your checkboxes from the Developer tab, click on Insert, and you've got a checkbox form control. I just added them and I changed the text. I'm just going to type Wednesday there, or WED. Okay. And this can then be checked or unchecked. We can set it up by right-clicking on it and choose Format Control. And what we do is we give it a cell link. So we give it a cell into which it places a value for being checked or unchecked. So let's just go and give it a cell to work with, and I'll just click OK. And so now as I check and uncheck it, you can see this cell is changing from true to false. And that's going to help us because true is 1 and false is 0. And we need zeros and ones. And so we can use this checkbox to feed this string. And I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to do that. Let me just delete this though. Okay, so over here, each of these checkboxes links to the appropriate cell opposite it. So when I click on Monday, this changes to true, but you can see that the string now has a 1 in the Monday position. And if I do it to Tuesday, it's got a 1 in the Tuesday position. So that would allow us to do a hypothetical, we don't work on Wednesdays and Sundays. And this is the string that the NETWORKDAYS function international needs to be able to determine what the non-working days are in the week. So you can choose any combination here. It's created into a string that's then fed into the function. Now, the way that this string is built up is using a concatenate function. So all the concatenate does is it allows you to build up a string from little pieces. And the little pieces are the integer value of this cell. So it's false right now, so it's 0. So the integer value of 0 is 0. And then we add to it the integer value of the next cell and then the next cell. And we've got 7 cells here. And so we're just pulling the integer values of each one of these cells into a string. So that's exactly the same function that's here. And according to what is checked or not checked here is feeding the string. And then the string itself here in cell D8 is going into the NETWORKDAYS function. So one of the things that I suggest you do when you set these up is to choose a very short period of time and something that's very easy to compare with a calendar. What I've done is I've set from January the 1st to January the 31st. Now, we can't assume that January the 1st is a holiday because it's not listed as a holiday. But the 26th of January is, which is why this is reporting that in a month of 31 days, there are only 30 work days. There are only 30 work days because the 26th of January is a non-working day. Let's add New Year's Day here. So I'm adding the 1st of January 2023. Just note that the date format for Excel here is month and then day and then year. So when I add that, you can see that the number of work days in the month decreases by 1. And this is a mini table, so it is going to expand if I add more holidays to it. Now, one of the other things that we need to test here is what's going to happen if Thursday is a non-working day, because this date here, the 26th of January, is a Thursday. And so what we want to see is that there are 4 Thursdays in January, but one has already been designated as a holiday. So this number should decrease by only 3 if we nominate Thursday as a non-working day. So let's test that. And it does. It's correct. We shouldn't see 4 days off because this is going to conflict with this. This is a holiday. It's a Thursday. This is non-working days that are Thursdays. So we can't double count the 26th of January. And of course, the function is not double counting this. I suggest that you work with really small dates and just check and make sure that everything is working before you expand it to use a larger period of time. As I said, this worksheet is available for download. You'll want to hide this column because you don't need to see it because everything is working discreetly in this area. You don't need to see this row, so you could just hide this row. You can't delete it because it's actually got a function, it's actually at work in this particular worksheet, but you could hide it. And of course, you could hide column G that's just got these formulas appearing as string entries in the cell, just so you can easily see what's in the cell to the immediate left. So I hope that you get some value out of this worksheet and that you're able to experiment with it. I think it's a nice little example of a functional worksheet, including a table and also these really super cute little checkboxes that are doing a lot of the work for us. If you like carefully researched content like this, clearly presented in a step-by-step format so that you can get great results every time, then you'll love my other YouTube videos. So give this video a thumbs up and click to subscribe to the channel. And on the screen now, you'll see a video that I've handpicked for you to watch next.